Chapter 1033. The two made out for a while, and they were blushing with sparks in their eyes. They stopped after a moment and started to drink again. The wine bottle was finished after a few rounds of drinking, and they were both red in the face. Debbie caressed Vivian while smirking, then said, "Come with me. I'm sorry, but we can't leave yet," Vivian said calmly. Debbie was not surprised at all. She pulled out a stack of cash and dropped it in front of Vivian. Vivian glanced at it and slowly put the money into her purse. She smiled at Debbie and asked, "Where to?" Debbie laughed and stood up with Vivian in her arms. They went out and got into the car, back to the Grand Cesar Palace Hotel. They entered the presidential suite, and Vivian was amazed by the luxurious decor. "Do you want to take a shower, Vivian?" asked Debbie while smiling, as she held onto her clothes. Vivian put her purse down and stripped slowly. They walked into the bathroom naked. Soon, Debbie carried Vivian out of the bathroom and placed her on the sofa. They were peachy red and wet all over. Debbie stared at Vivian, and Vivian locked eyes with her. Tension started to brew. Debbie groaned softly and pounced on her. They went on for half an hour until they were exhausted and lay still on the sofa. Debbie sat up straight soon after, but Vivian dozed off. She was too tired from the alcohol and exhaustion. Debbie lit up a cigarette and leaned on the sofa to smoke. She looked at Vivian, who was sound asleep after her smoke. There was a smile on her face. She started to kneel in front of Vivian after a moment, and she chanted something in a low voice. Spiritual energy started to move in the room, and Debbie started to shapeshift. Her body started to soften like a snake. Then, she slowly slithered onto Vivian. Her body became thinner too, and she wrapped herself around Vivian. Debbie became a snake-like creature that slithered to Vivian's mouth, and she slowly entered. Vivian felt something filling her throat, so she instantly woke up. She instantly screamed when she discovered a snake-like creature entering her body. However, her throat was filled, so she could not scream out loud. A powerful energy filled her body, and she lost control of her movements. There was only a look of terror on her face, and she did not know what to do. Debbie fully squirmed into her body after a moment, while Vivian fell backwards in a stiff manner. A few minutes later, Vivian sat up abruptly. Her eyes moved around eerily. Then, she slowly stood and came before the mirror. Debbie looked at her new body and smiled with satisfaction. Then, she picked up Vivian's purse and found her identification and other belongings. "This is a nice body. I should start my work now." Then, she started chanting spells again. A fist-sized black eye levitated before her as spiritual energy rippled. Sea Lake Island. Wilbur Penn. What a tough mission. Debbie smiled faintly and opened the window. The black eye levitated out of the window and went towards Sea Lake Island. The vision of the black eye was projected into her consciousness at that moment. The next morning, the phone rang as soon as Wilbur woke up. He saw that it was from an unidentified number, so he looked slightly excited. He immediately answered the call. "May I ask if this is Wilbur Penn?" "It is. Did you accept my mission?" "That's right. Are you sure you meet the requirement?"